I've never done weight training before. I'm in my 50s, 60s, 70s. What's the point? No point me doing it now. Oh, he or she is too young. Shouldn't do any weight training. They're only in their teens. Welcome to the latest episode of My Body Health Podcast. And on this particular episode, I want to address some myths that are out there all around weight training in particular. Weight training, resistance training, whatever you want to call it. Because resistance training is something that everybody, I stress everybody, not needs to be engaging in. Needs, and it is a need, and it's increasingly so. It's always been to some degree, but with the modern lifestyle and the way people are so more sedentary, think about our lives. For the vast majority of people, sitting down traveling, if working, sitting down at work, sitting down traveling back home, and a lot of recreational activities now are sitting down. So there's a lot of sitting down. So we're a lot more sedentary, we're burning way less calories, we're using our body less, we're engaging our core less, we're using our muscles less, we're putting more pressure on our spine on an ongoing basis because of the way we carry ourselves and the way our bodies relax when we're sitting or lying down. Also, our mobile phone usage in particular has meant that the upper spine is curving so much more as our head tilts to look at the screen. We're sitting working on computers or laptops most of the time, depending on what career you have. That's what a lot of us are doing. So, we have to resist training. Why is that, you may ask? What does it matter? It matters because our body is basically a skeleton, and there's muscle on it and there's fat in it. And now, if your muscle isn't strong, if you don't have enough muscle, then it's going to affect everything about your body. It's going to affect the structure of it. It's going to affect your posture. It's going to affect the biomechanics of it. Everything's interconnected. It's going to affect your metabolism. It's going to affect your bone density and so on. The reality is that from the age of 25 on, your metabolism starts to decrease, your muscle mass starts to decrease, and importantly for females in particular, your bone density starts to decrease. And women are predisposed to get bone disease at some age in their life, depending on their lifestyle. So if someone has a reasonable lifestyle, they may be predisposed to get bone disease at, let's say, 60, 65. Someone has a really poor lifestyle, it might be 35. Weight training is the most effective way, and really the only way, to increase your bone density as a female. I would not recommend, again, the injections. It is the usual method that gets recommended. Consistent weight training is the way, because it will naturally increase your bone density. So even if you did weight training, and this is speaking to the females here, even if you did weight training only for that, only for your bone health and for increased bone density and to help prevent bone disease like osteoarthritis and arthritis and so on, it's a worthwhile reason to do it. If you are currently listening to this and you have a bone disease of some sort, I can guarantee if you do resistance training, it will decrease your symptoms. I can't say it will eliminate the bone disease you have, but it will definitely improve it. It'll stop it degenerating even further, which is such an important goal to have. So for females, weight training is so important for that perspective. But I did touch on metabolism. I did touch on muscle mass. They decrease in 25 on. It's like when people say about the middle-age spread and, it's just a natural thing and I can't avoid it. Absolute bullshit. Yes, you can avoid it. The middle-age spread is basically that from 25 on, your metabolism has been dropping. Your metabolism, if you're not aware, is the amount of calories you're burning at rest or in general, but how much calories you're burning per day. If your metabolism is dropping from 25 on, it means if you have the exact same day as you had a week ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, you're going to burn less calories than you did then. Okay? Or your muscle mass is dropping consistently if you don't counteract from 25 on. What does this mean? Your muscles burn calories. They're literally like calorie burning machines. So if you're decreasing muscle mass, you're decreasing your ability to burn calories. So overall, you're going to burn less calories than you did again a year ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if you haven't counteracted this situation. That's just a reality for all of us. So when the middle-age spread is being talked about, your metabolism is much lower than you were in your 20s. Your muscle mass is much lower than it was in the 20s. You're likely more sedentary than you were in your 20s. Both in modern lifestyle and just lifestyle, type of work you're doing, you don't have as much interest in looking as well as you did in your 20s, things like that. So there's lots of different factors that affect it, not necessarily right factors, but they're factors and they're reality. So if you don't want that to happen, you don't want middle-age spread, then exercise consistently in general, but especially do resistance training. Resistance training will help you burn huge amounts of calories. So if you don't resistance training right now, you need to start just for the fact you burn loads of calories. Like for me right now, me sitting here right now at 47, and I've done resistance training now consistently for 30 years, I'm burning way more calories right now than I was when I was 17. Even though at 17, I was a calorie burning machine, because that's what you are at that age. you have an incredibly high metabolism. But because of the lifestyle I've led for 30 years, I've done resistance training now for 30 years. I always keep myself in good shape, so decent muscle mass, certain level of leanness, I have a certain level of fitness. All those kind of things have a huge impact. So I'm burning a lot of calories all the time. Okay. So it's really important. This is where is what I always stress, that what you do today impacts your tomorrow. So be very conscious of that. And that's why whether you're 20 or 60, don't be thinking, look, I don't need to do weight training now. Sure, I'm fine. I look fine. What about what's going to happen when you're 30, 40, 50, 60? If you're 60, again, you might be thinking, what's the point? I have never weight trained before. What's the point in starting now? Again, would you not like when you're 61, 62, 65, 68, 73, and so on, for you to be in at worst the same condition and strength and health and bone health as you are at this moment? Or are you happy to accept that you'll get worse? Because that is what will happen. You do not stay the same for all of us. You cannot stay the same in any way in your life, especially in terms of your bone health, your metabolism, your muscle mass, and so on. So you're either improving or you're either growing or dying at a cellular level, basically. So you're either improving or you're not improving. So you have to make that decision. And that's where our decisions and actions every single day impact our future tomorrow. To be very conscious of that. So no matter what age you are, whether you've resistance training or not, start resistance training. It's one of the most important things you'll ever do. 2 times a week, 3 times a week for 30 minutes, even just that will help massively. So like I said, it increases your bone density. It's the only natural way to do it. It's the best way to do it. It increases your metabolism because muscle burns calories. The other good news is muscle burns calories 24/7. So you'll even be burning calories while you sleep. You'll burn calories when you're sitting down. You'll burn calories while you're driving. It's something that's going on all the time because your muscles are metabolically active. You're going to increase your muscle mass, which means you're going to burn more calories than you did when you had less muscle mass. You're going to counteract the muscle wastage that happen. You're going to counteract the metabolic drop that naturally happens as well. So there's so many benefits to it. So very important that you get into a resistance training program for that reason. And like I touched on earlier, your whole biomechanics, your body structure, your posture, all these things are very heavily dependent on your muscle mass in your body. Because, you have your skeleton, but the muscles then are all connected to the skeleton. That all holds your posture, holds your body structure. It's what determines how your body can function and move because you're using your muscles. So if your muscles are very weak, then you're limited in what you can do. If you have weaknesses in certain parts of your body, again, limit what you can do. Everything's very interconnected. So what's going to happen is if certain areas are weak, then it's going to lead to repercussions in other areas. Same as when muscles get tight. It's like a blanket. If one area gets tight, it's going to pull on another one. This is why it's so important, again, to be conscious of taking care of your body, making sure your body is loose, making sure your body is strong. Strength is really important. And that's another thing as well around resistance training. We need to get our mind away from the aesthetics. Yes, we want to look good. Yes, we want to be lean. We want to be muscular. We want to look like magazine covers, whether we're male or female. But strength is far more important from a longevity point of view and a health point of view. So make sure your body is strong. You want that when you get to later years that you're able to do things, even simple things like carrying heavy bags of shopping, doing gardening, moving things, that you're able to do that. You have the strength to do it and you've got the flexibility to do it. And this is where resistance training will have a massive impact on whether that is your reality or it's not. Now, let's flip to the other end. We got younger people and people say, you shouldn't weight train. A lot of gyms will not allow kids to train. And when I say kids, I mean teenagers especially, still won't even allow them. And then the myth is out there that, it'll stunt their growth. Absolute bullshit. Everyone needs to be weight training. I don't care even if you're 6 or if you're 66. It's really important to resistance train because even if you are young, your body is developing yet, but you do have muscles. So why not make the muscles strong? Why not make it be loose and structured the way it needs to be? Why not build that little bit of muscle then as well to improve and enhance your structure? And especially then if you're playing sports and so on. Like at the end of the day, kids who are active are doing resistance type exercise anyway. They fall on the ground, they pick themselves up, they're having to push with their arms or using their muscles. They jump about things, they jump off a wall, like typically doing squats, lunges, things like that without even realizing it, deadlifts. So everyone is resistance training unless they sit in their ass all day. So even as a kid. So what's good is get kids to do structured resistance training. Okay. I've always allowed kids into my gyms and facilities when I used to have them, because the earlier you start kids into resistance training, the more to them it's just normal, it's just part of life, and it's just something that you do. which means when they get to adult life, it'll just be another thing they'll continue on, just like brushing your teeth. So the younger you can get into resistance training, the better. I've had as young as 5 in resistance training classes that I've done. Like that was in Lanzarote when I lived there and had my gym there. So you can never be too young. The only important thing is that, one, you make sure you're on a structured program, something proper, not just something just thrown together or found on YouTube. And also you don't go to absolute failure. You don't go to your max, as a child. You focus on technique, you focus on the speed of movement, you focus on doing it correctly and never going absolute to failure. And you focus on making it just a normal habit, something you enjoy, something, again, you psychologically start to see as something that's just normal, because that'll serve you in later years. When you become an adult or late teens, then you can start going to max, because then it's about getting results. Okay, because as a kid up to 17, 18, you're still growing. So it's admitted it stunts your growth. It's absolute rubbish. But your body is growing. There's no reason or benefit to putting huge pressure on your muscles to develop them and grow them. Okay, and also your hormone balance hasn't developed enough to grow them anyway. So there's no point pushing them to that kind of level, because the gains will be minimal. So my main point on this podcast episode is that whether, for instance, you got kids or grandkids that are anything from 6 years of age up to 16, 17, get them on resistance training, even if it's just body weight at home. Like, again, resistance training is using your body weight, many different exercises you can do there, using dumbbells or barbells or kettlebells, going to a gym, using all different equipment there, being in a class environment or group personal training, any of these kind of activities, going to the park where there might be some equipment. Activity is good for you, no matter what age you are. Resistance training is super important for all of us. And at the other end of the scale, if you're in 50s, 60s, 70s, you've never done resistance training in your life, there's no better time to start. There's no more important time to start, because your bones will continue to degenerate at a rapid level. Whether you have bone disease right now or not yet, it's coming. This is the whole thing. We need to make decisions in our life that are preventing things happening. So literally, it's like I speak of pushing disease away. Same thing, push bone disease away. Every form of disease and ailment and pain, you want to be pushing it away. Okay, so no matter what age you are, do resistance training. Even if it's just bottles of water at home, just do resistance training. There's loads you can do with just your body. With your body in a chair, there's loads of options. So it's not about having equipment. What does equipment do? It gives you options. That's all. It increases the amount of exercise you can do. That is the benefit of equipment. So whether that be a few little bits at home, full-scale gym at home, or if you go to an actual gym, it's giving you more options. That's it. So stop feeling that it's something you need to do. You don't need it. You don't have to have equipment. Okay? So I hope that's been useful. I hope it's made sense. Short little episode. It's something I wanted to talk about because it's a really important topic. So do resistance training no matter what age you are. Be consistent with it, at least 2 times a week for 30 minutes at a time. Make sure you focus on your technique, your range of movement, the speed of movement. That's what's key. And make it part of your life, just like brushing your teeth. Resistance training, as I said, one of the most important things you can do on a consistent basis. So prioritize it, get it done, but make sure you get the proper guidance and get the proper program in place. Hope that was helpful. Do let me know, put comments below, give this a star, and also please subscribe. Again, anything like that helps, because it tells our algorithm that you found this useful. And I would really appreciate if you'd share this podcast with anyone you feel it would add value to. Remember, I can only reach so many people. It's through you and sharing this podcast episode with people who can benefit will help expand our reach so we can help more people. And remember, my purpose in life is to make a positive impact on as many people as I possibly can in my lifetime. So you can help me do that. And in turn, you are having a positive impact in your life as well. So everyone wins. And we all need to help each other. All right, that's it from this podcast. Hope you're good. Look forward to hearing your feedback.